Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Prepping by Faith, and today I'm going to be sharing an article with you guys about this proposed ban of imports of toxic GMO corn into Mexico from the US. So they're saying that US farmers who grow it are beginning to panic. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the highlights of this article for you guys, and I want us to go ahead and delve into this. I'm going to dissect a few things. There's a few things in here that I don't necessarily agree with. So I'm going to be sharing my opinion on that. You guys can share your opinions, your thoughts. These are just my own. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this article. So it says the food industry in the United States faces a major blow as Mexico readies to enact a new law banning all United States imports of genetically modified corn. Since most U.S. corn is genetically engineered, the American farmers who grow it will no longer have Mexico as a customer, which could decimate their businesses in some cases. So they are saying that this is going to be the most catastrophic thing that could happen to corn farmers. They say that it could force American corn farmers to switch to non-GMO or organic type corn crops instead, which would eventually be good for everyone, right? So up until now, Mexico was the largest buyer of American corn. And it says our neighbors to the south have purchased more than $10 billion worth of corn, nearly all of which is being patented under these owned by these biotechnology companies. They said that it would take a lot of work for farmers to convert over to this non-GMO corn. So this one farmer is saying that it would be a huge investment if we had to go back to growing conventional, and on top of that, their yields would be decreased. Now, the way they frame this is they say that she is complaining. They're kind of trying to blame the farmer here. They do say something in here about it says to be fair, American farmers should have seen the writing on the wall. There are a few countries besides the US that welcome GMOs in any way, shape, or form as they recognize the dangers inherent to consuming them. Now, I think it's unfair to go ahead and place the blame on farmers, right? Farmers have been kind of pigeonholed into this because, as we know, way back, Monsanto had taken over 80% of the seeds, the seed bank. And this is something that, we can go ahead and come back to the governments of the world for and blame them, especially the United States government, for allowing a company like this to get in there and sort of start patenting all of this technology. Now, a lot of the farmers that were growing the organic based corns were having issues where if they had a field next to Monsanto and those seeds were then pollinating and blowing over into their field, they were being sued by Monsanto as having taken part of their technology and growing it, even though they had absolutely no control over that, because the wind and pollination, as it is nature, and those things are going to be sort of interspersed, and they were using that to their advantage to begin taking over more of these farms, and controlling the seed vault, if you will. And as many of you guys know, Monsanto is a company that has been since bought out by Bayer, and they've had to pay out all of these large lawsuits and things because of the glyphosate, and other chemical lawsuits that have come out in recent years. But that still doesn't change the way that they do business, the way that, this whole thing has been structured. And Monsanto is the same company that was behind DDT. They're the same company that was behind Agent Orange that was used in Vietnam. So allowing a company like that to begin to take over the food supply, I blame the government. I blame the legislation. We could have passed laws and things surrounding this that wouldn't have allowed them to come in and corner a market like this, something as important as our food supply. And so you can't go putting the blame on farmers. Now, I think that if we are going to be shifting away from this, and I think it is a good thing overall that we are switching away from these GMO seeds, because I don't think it is good for any of us. I think that we need to be helping subsidize these farmers. We need to help them make this transition. If we can send all of the, billions of dollars that we have overseas to help, in these wars and these other, foreign affairs that we have, we can darn well begin to move some of this money into helping our food supply and helping our farmers make this transition. So they say that Mexico has implemented a 50% tariff on all corn leaving its country. And there's an operation going under the radar, CO2 pipelines in the heartland, 5 or 6 of central states, because of food shortages across the globe, not just here. And since the pipeline issue is a concept derived from political motivation, the WEF, Obama's socio-communist administration, and various acronym support agencies are all pretending the corn will stay here for ethanol, when the plan is to break we, the American citizen. You know what? And that could be, I mean, there could be a lot more to this than we even realize. And we do realize how the World Economic Forum and the WHO is behind a lot of these things that are going on. Another wrote that the corn is a staple of life in Mexico. So, of course, the country wants only clean, GMO free corn. And so there's this whole sort of, push and pull effect where you've got some people that are upset about this and other people that are for it. I think that, we need to sort of take, politics out of it and look at what is going to be best for the globe as a whole. And GMO corn is not going to be best for the globe as a whole, but we do need to take care of our own and we need to help out our farmers. So they said in this article that Mexico was our number one purchaser. According to the U.S. Grains Council, that is incorrect. So I did want to point that out as well. It says that, the United States exported 69.8 million metric tons of corn to 73 different countries. China was number one at 30.7%. And then Mexico was coming in at number two at 22.3%. So there is going to be a problem there if we do have to transition away from this, or if we're trying to find somebody else to purchase this corn in the interim. That is going to be something that we have to consider. What is that going to look like for farmers? Hopefully our government is going to step up to the plate. They're not going to allow them, to go under. We're not going to lose a bunch of our farmers because of a transition like this. Knowing them, they're probably first going to try to find an alternate buyer, right, and see if they can't make up some of that difference. With China sort of snapping up all of the food supply, it could be that they decide that they're going to purchase, a greater percentage than they have in the past. We just don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but I think it's something that we need to pay attention to, because this is going to obviously affect our farmers and it's going to affect the amount of our corn crops, and even making a transition like this, when you're switching over to something like that, and going back to more conventional methods, you are going to have lower yields. And so we need to be considering that. So, and they've already mentioned that we're going to have less corn available to us anyway. That was one of the items that made it on the top 13 list. So if there's corn product items that you guys, use, whether that is just corn itself, be stocking up on your canned corn, be stocking up on, your freeze dried versions. Dehydrating corn is another option. Obviously having things like your corn meals and your cornstarch is a forever food, guys. So if you don't have a bunch of that put up, and it's a great thickening agent. You can also use it in a pinch to, take care of oils in your hair. There's all kinds of wonderful things that you can do with cornstarch. So be thinking about these kinds of things. What products do you use as far as corn? It's in so many different things, and we know that it's also in our animal feed, guys. So you got to be thinking about that too. Is this going to sort of have an impact on that? If we have lower crop yields of corn in the future, are they going to be able to adequately feed the animals? So be thinking about this. Just something I wanted to put out there for your on your radar. If you guys have enjoyed this video today, please give me a like, share, and subscribe, and remember to pray, prep, and put God first. God bless. Hey guys, are you concerned about the death of the dollar? Are you concerned about a full blown economic collapse? If you are, I want you to consider giving Genesis Gold Group a call. They are a Christian based company that is going to help you roll over your 401k into a gold backed IRA that is self governed. You also have the ability to send them cash and take possession of those precious metals if that is something that you would like to do. As we see all of these things unfolding before us, the sky high inflation, the move away from the US dollar as a petrodollar, and we see the central bank digital currencies that are going to be underway this summer. Preserving our wealth through precious metals is one way to sort of hedge our bets and make sure that we have something that is going to be more substantial to carry us forward. So go ahead, check them out. They are Genesis Gold Group, genesisgoldgroup.com, or give them a call at 1-800-200-4653. Tell them Prepping by Faith sent you, and God bless.